A question, where is your authority specifically coming from? As you know, thousands of people, including parents who signed a petition to impeach you with more than 14,000 signatures at last check, say this is government overreach and you're taking control away from local parents, local school boards and parents over their kids. What do you say to that, and where is your authority coming from to enforce this prayer video to be played in schools?
As Donald Trump rounds out his cabinet, it is clear that the most extreme MAGA Republicans are jockeying for the final positions. And no, where is that more apparent than Oklahoma, where the state superintendent is not only violating the First Amendment by mandating that Bibles be in schools, but he's buying Donald Trump Bibles to do that. Yes, $60. Donald Trump Bibles, and a way to earn favor with someone who he's hoping will make him Secretary of Education, a position at a department that he wants abolished. It is all a mess. But it only got even worse when that Republican state superintendent went on CNN for an interview in which he was absolutely floundering when he got pushed back and got called out in a lie. And we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you enjoy our channel, and if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now let's get into this interview.
As you know, your state's Attorney General's office says you don't have the authority for this mandate to play that prayer video. So what authority do you have to mandate schools to show your prayer video where you also pray for President-elect Trump?
Look, I've continued to hear the gaslighting from the left, and frankly, even from this network, pushing lies about what's going on across America. President Trump has a clear mandate. He wants prayer back in school. He wants radical leftism out of the classroom, wants our kids to be patriotic, want parents back in charge with school choice. We're enacting upon that agenda here in Oklahoma. That's what our parents want. Every county in Oklahoma voted for President Trump. His agenda is crystal clear, and we're going to enact it in the state of Oklahoma.
I'm not going to take the bait on what you said about gaslighting from this network. I have a question, where is your authority specifically coming from? As you know, thousands of people, including parents who signed a petition to impeach you with more than 14,000 signatures at last check, say this is government overreach and you're taking control away from local parents, local school boards and parents over their kids. What do you say to that, and where is your authority coming from to enforce this prayer video to be played in schools?
You know, I appreciate you pushing that left-wing narrative here, but here's the reality.
It's not a left-wing narrative. I'm literally talking about a petition that parents have signed that's gotten more than 14,000 signatures that have raised this issue.
It's pretty clear on religious liberty. The Constitution's crystal clear on religious liberty. I know the left doesn't want our kids to know anything about the role the Bible played in American history. They don't want any of our kids to know about the Constitution. Our religious liberties are protected, and the left has driven the Bible out of schools, driven prayer out of schools, and everything in education's gotten worse since. Before we had a federal Department of Education and we had the Bible and prayer in school, guess what? We were leading the free world. This was the greatest country in the world, and we have seen every statistic has gotten worse since the creation of the Federal Department of Education and the Supreme Court pulled the Bible and prayer out of schools. President Trump has won on this issue. He has a crystal clear mandate. It's what Americans want. It's what Oklahomans want. And so we're going to deliver on those on President Trump's promises here in Oklahoma.
All right. First of all, the Constitution is not crystal clear on that. It doesn't have God in it. There is this establishment clause in the First Amendment, which the Supreme Court has routinely said it requires the separation of church and state and public schools. There are many cases hold on, I'm speaking. There are many cases where the Supreme Court has routinely ruled on that. You went after woke teachers and the radical left in your announcement for attacking religious liberty, but your critics are saying that by requiring Bibles in every classroom and requiring this prayer video, you're trying to impose your religion on students in violation of the Establishment Clause. They say the Constitution, scholars say the Constitution is crystal clear on freedom of religion, not enforcing one religion, your religion, on students. What do you say?
Look, CNN doesn't have to like it. Left-wing activists don't have to like it.
I'm just talking about facts. It's not my opinion.
Document. The Bible is a historical document. You can't rewrite history, okay? The reality is the Bible was what drove so many of the consequential events in American history. Why'd the Pilgrims come to America? Why in the world did Abraham Lincoln mention God and God's providence in so many of his speeches? How do you explain Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from a Birmingham jail where he goes through biblical examples if the left continues to censor the Bible from our history classes? Listen, the left doesn't have to like it. They can be offended by it, but we've got to teach history to our young people. To make this country great again, President Trump has a clear mandate. Our kids have to understand what made America great in the first place, and obviously the Bible, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence are indispensable in understanding the story of America.
I'm not saying. Well,
As
then
long
let's
as-
talk about Oklahoma history, because Oklahoma is 48th in the country when it comes to education. It's ranked 48th in the country. Your critics say the money that you're spending on the Bible, I'm putting Bibles in every classroom, you've asked for $6 million, should be spent in other ways to better educate the students because they're very worried about where Oklahoma is ranked in the education system. What do you say to that?
We are in the middle of a turnaround here because we are following President Trump's agenda. This is the agenda for the entire country. We have school choice. We have merit pay. We are rejecting this left-wing ideology in the classroom. We are promoting American exceptionalism. And look, we are pressing students forward to see academic outcomes improve. We've seen record improvement. Record numbers of schools are improving here in Oklahoma. That's what you're going to see for the whole country under President Trump. And again, you continue to see critics. Yeah, they act like I'm controversial because I'm creating change in a status quo system that has failed kids and failed parents for decades. President Trump
but
is
they would say, well,
absolutely
then if you're turning it around, the millions of dollars should be spent on other ways to educate the children. But let me just ask you one last question. As I pointed out in this segment, the books you bought from what you raised in your Twitter handle, I just saw a link to that, was the Trump endorsed Bible. That's $60 a pop. There are many Bibles available that are less than half of that. Why are you using the Trump endorsed Bible? What do you say to critics who argue this is clear-cut political pandering right here?
What I would tell critics is we're going to teach American history in Oklahoma. So that includes the Bible, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and Bill of Rights. They are all included in this Bible that we've purchased. The Bible will be back in every Oklahoma classroom. President Trump
Why
is
the
bringing...
Trump Bible, though? Why not a cheaper Bible where you could save a lot of money in taxpayer dollars?
I just told you.
As you know, your state's attorney general's office says you don't have the authority for this mandate to play that prayer video. So what authority do you have to mandate schools to show your prayer video where you also pray for President-elect Trump?
Look, I've continued to hear the gaslighting from the left, and frankly, even from this network, pushing lies about what's going on across America. President Trump has a clear mandate. He wants prayer back in school. He wants radical leftism out of the classroom, wants our kids to be patriotic, want parents back in charge with school choice. We're enacting upon that agenda here in Oklahoma. That's what our parents want. Every county in Oklahoma voted for President Trump. His agenda is crystal clear, and we're going to enact it in the state of Oklahoma.
I'm not going to take the bait on what you said about gaslighting from this network.
Such a disingenuous response from someone who is clearly just operating for political gain and cares nothing about the actual agenda that he's pushing in his state. A state, mind you, that is 49th in education. So I don't really think Bibles in schools are going to fix your problem. Also, what happened being the First Amendment part. There is no greater lying. There is no greater amount of hypocrisy than in the Republican Party. And that is clear every day. And it is what we are going to be calling out on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like. And if you stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.